You came to the right place. You are watching StacksBMX.com's YouTube channel. Today, we're going to talk about this bike and let you know if this bike works for you, if you should buy a different bike, and everything that comes on this bike from, the hubs to the handlebars to the brakes and all the different parts on this bike. So, today we're going to do an explain and review on the Elite Stealth Complete BMX bike. So most of our videos, we've been doing them different. This one, we've been kind of doing the POV lately, try to give you up close details. I hope you guys like it. If you like it, make sure you leave us a comment below and tell us that you like this way so that we can film this way more often. So starting off with the grips, these grips are relatively normal. They kind of have a rip pattern, which is pretty popular with everybody. If you ride gloves or bare hands, these grips should last you a long time. Also has a nylon bar end to protect the end of your grip. Going to the brake lever, it has a alloy hinged lever. So see, here's a hinge. You could actually take this off and go brakeless without having to take your grips off. I think that's a cool feature because about 80-90% of the riders don't ride brakes. So I think that's pretty cool. This lever is a little bent, so it gives you a little bit more pull, a little bit more area to pull. There's a nice little barrel adjuster on here. If your brakes start pulling too close to the grip, you can back that out and maybe give your brakes a little bit more life. This little thing right here, you've probably seen it. If you have a little bit shorter hand, you can screw that in, keep the lever out a little bit, but be cautious. You need to add a little bit more slack so that the lever actually hits down here farther and doesn't drag your brake. Going on the handlebars, these handlebars look way cooler than last year's. These are a two-piece bar, high-tensile steel, and the actual handlebars have a cool little shape before they drop down, look super boxy, kind of goofy. These ones look 10 times better, so I think you'll be pleased with that. Going down to the stem is an alloy stem with chrome bolts on it, all 6 of them, even the pinch one. The top cap has this little rubber plug right here to kind of hide the 5mm out compression bolt. So that looks kind of cool, kind of makes it look a little bit more subtle. Going to the headset, it's got an 1.1/8 threadless headset. This one's pretty good. If you need a beefed up one, maybe go with the pig headset. It could make your frame last longer, allow you to jump a little bit bigger jumps, and just have fun with it. Going down the fork, this one's a lot better than the previous model. These forks are actually tapered. They go from thick to thin, lightening up the fork, just making it look a little bit nicer. It also has a little fork cap on the side right here. This thing looks pretty cool. I'm not too sure if it's to block or get away from the stuff when you're grinding or anything like that, but it just looks pretty cool, so I definitely dig that. It's got a 5mm thick dropout. It's double thick. They welded 2 plates together to give you that little thick dropout. This tire is a pretty fat 2.4 tire. Yes, it's a 20-inch. And as far as size-wise, this is pretty fat compared to all the other aftermarket tires I've seen. I would say, if I'm gonna say if it's 2.4 or not, I think this is definitely a 2.4. Possibly could be slightly bigger, but it is a pretty big tire. Going to the rim, you got a big boxy alloy wheel. Not too sure if this thing is double walled. They might be double walled, but I'll check and I'll make sure that I leave a comment below letting you guys know if it's double wall. It's got a 36 stainless steel spokes and brass spoke nipples to keep your wheels tight. Basic inner tube or standard inner tube. Going to the hub, I think this is the biggest feature from this bike and is actually crushing a lot of the other brands. This bike comes with a sealed front hub. So check that out. You got sealed bearings on a front hub on a bike that is more affordable than a lot of the other models out on the market. So I think that's pretty cool. It also has a chromoly axle. Look at how it's heat treated. I think that's an awesome feature on there. Going to the frame, hey, does this frame fit me? If you're trying to ride bikes or you're just trying to get into it and you got all these know-it-all old school heads that are like, no, you're 6 foot, you definitely need a 21. If your budget can't supply you with a higher end bike and you're just dabbling, go with whatever you feel comfortable spending. We all started off on an inexpensive bike. I started off on a dyno VFR. Yeah, my bike's not a dyno VFR anymore, but that's where I started. And this is a better bike than the dyno VFR, and I'm going to tell you that. So if I start on that, you can definitely start on this bike and definitely go ride. Upgrade as you blow stuff up. It's just a natural evolution of BMX. So if you're hating on it and you're trying to make somebody scare somebody, that's what you're really doing when you're talking buying this $500 bike. Yes, I understand that'll last them longer, but some people just don't want to put that commitment yet, which I don't blame them. So wherever you start is a good place to start. If you love it and you stick with it, you're going to upgrade and upgrade and upgrade and eventually have that super nice bike. But this bike is a high tensile steel frame. It's relatively introductory, just like the dyno VFR, but it has a 20-inch top tube, whereas that other one had, I think, a 19-inch top tube. So living plush in 2024 with a 20-inch top tube and not a 19-inch. Also, too, it's got the micro drive, so that helps it out a lot. Yeah, it's a high tensile steel frame, but it's got brake stops right here. There's welded one on the front. Got 990s on it. The dropout's relatively small. Yeah, the seat stays and chain stays are pinched, but you're getting an introductory bike, and that's how they basically make these bikes affordable. So I think that's kind of cool. Also, it's got an American bottom bracket, but don't let that deter you. You could always get a hop-up kit or a conversion kit and put a mid bottom bracket in there, which relatively they are. But this one comes with check out these steel 3-piece cranks. So this is a great start. Way better than having 1-piece cranks on there, I'll tell you that. They got a 25-2 sprocket on here. There's a steel sprocket, so it's gonna last and it's gonna do what it's got to do. It's got a S1 chain on here. Is actually, yeah, this actually is S1 chain. Yes, it is an S1 chain. So your pretty basic chain, get you from point A to point B. It does have the American bottom bracket, like I said. It is a 3-piece crank, and it goes over to this other side, which is also a steel drop forged crank arm. Going to the pedals, these are some wide platform pedals, kind of basic, just to get you rolling. 990 brakes, like I said before. Going up to seat clamp, it's got a seat clamp right here with the 5mm Allen wrench right here. It's got your traditional seat post. This seat post is 25/4, so you can put a pivotal or whatever you want to put on here. But this one's kind of cool because it's got your basic seat. If you want to wheelie this bike, you could tilt it down. If you want to make it point up, you ride more street, you could tilt it up. The seat also has like a little grip right here, so if you're doing toboggans or anything like that, or maybe even cannonballs, but that's pretty crazy. You can do that. On the seat, this seat is relatively padded and soft. I see a lot of seats that are hard and just little tiny seats, so having this how'd you say, bigger seat is pretty cool. It also has an Elite patch right here on the back. That thing looks pretty sweet. The coolest thing I like about this, instead of the 1-piece seat and seat post, is that now you can rock it and position any angle that you like. So I think that's an added plus. If you decide to go farther, you could always get a railed seat post, or you could buy a pivotal seat and seat post. So that's like an upgrade you can do from this bike and go towards the aftermarket high-end bike. Going to the back wheel, we got the same tire, the same rim spokes, and a similar hub, but we'll get to that in a second. Going to the pegs, you got pegs in the back, 14mm axle in here. Let's see what you see in there. Probably not. 14mm axle, grinding pegs, so if you want to grind on them, or if you want to stand on them, you can totally do that. Going to the hub, this is the, I would say, deal maker. I want to say deal breaker, because this is a deal maker. At this price point, you cannot get a rear sealed hub. Check this out. It's got a sealed rear hub with a 9-tooth driver, absolutely demolishing a lot of those other model bikes. Some of them might have a slightly better crank, but they got unsealed wheels back and front. So looking at this Elite Stealth bike, if this bike is something up your alley, I would definitely pick it up. This thing is super dope. And thanks for watching our video. Hope you like this. Leave us a comment below whether you like this video or not. Peace out.